I drove 3 million miles. I missed my daughter's 16th birthday. I missed Christmas dinners. I missed my eldest son's graduation because I was stuck in a snowstorm on Interstate 80, eating a cold sandwich inside a truck cabin. I did this for 45 years, waking up at 4 in the morning with the smell of diesel soaked into my skin, my back screaming in pain, my eyes burning from exhaustion. I did all of this for one single reason: to have peace, to make sure that when I finally turned off that engine for the last time, me and my wife Mary wouldn't have to depend on anyone. We would have our security, our nest egg, and last Tuesday, it was all gone. 45 years of sweat, blood, and asphalt were wiped out in less than 12 minutes, while I was sitting in my own kitchen drinking a cup of coffee, thinking I was safe. They say banks protect your money. They say the systems are secure. They lie. If you have a savings account in America, if you worked hard your whole life to build something, you need to stop what you're doing and listen to me right now. Because what happened to me wasn't an armed robbery. Nobody kicked down my door. Nobody pointed a gun at my head. It was much worse than that. They used my trust against me. And if it happened to me, a man who always considered himself smart and suspicious, it can happen to you. In fact, it might be happening right now, and you haven't even noticed. Let me tell you exactly how they do it. Because the devil is in the details, and I don't want you to be the next victim of this cruelty. It was a standard Tuesday morning. The sun was coming through the kitchen window, and I was planning to go to the hardware store later. The phone rang at 9:15 a.m. I looked at the caller ID. It said Bank Security Department. The exact same name that appears when I call to check my balance. The exact same number. I picked up thinking maybe it was about the new debit card I had ordered. A male voice spoke on the other end. Firm, professional. He said, "Mr. John, this is Agent Miller from the Fraud Division. We detected suspicious activity on your retirement account just now. Someone in Florida is attempting to wire your entire balance to an unknown account. Did you authorize this transaction of $45,000? My heart stopped. I felt a cold knot in my stomach that I haven't felt since I almost jackknifed on black ice back in '98. I said, "No, of course not. I am here in my house in Ohio. For God's sake, stop it." And that is when the trap snapped shut. He sounded like he was on my side. He sounded worried. He said, "Stay calm, Mr. John. We have blocked the transaction temporarily, but the hackers are trying to brute force the system. They have your password. They have your social security number. The only way to save your money right now, this second, is to move the funds to a secure digital holding locker. We need to verify your identity to authorize this emergency protection." I was in panic mode, you understand? When they tell you your life savings are walking out the door, your brain stops thinking. You just want to save what is yours. I asked what I needed to do. He said, "I am sending a security code to your mobile phone right now. You need to read that code to me to prove you are the account holder, and I will lock your money where nobody can touch it." The phone buzzed. The code arrived. The text message said, "Bank authorization code." I didn't read the rest. I was blind with fear. I read the numbers to him. 3894221. I heard him typing on the other end. He sighed with relief and said, "Done, Mr. John. We got it. Your money is safe in the vault. You can relax now. We will investigate these criminals. Have a good day." And he hung up. I sat back in my chair and took a deep breath. I felt like a hero. I thought, wow, that was close. Thank God the bank was watching. Thank God they called me. I even told Mary when she came in from the garden. I said, "Mary, we almost got robbed, but I fixed it with the bank." But something started to gnaw at me, a bad feeling on the back of my neck. The silence in the house felt too heavy. 30 minutes later, I decided to call the number on the back of my debit card just to confirm where the money was. The lady who answered didn't know who Agent Miller was. She said there was no such thing as a digital emergency locker. And then she said the sentence that will haunt me until the day I die. She said, "Sir, I see a Zelle transfer and a wire transfer authorized 40 minutes ago. The balance in your savings account is zero. Zero." The world spun. I fell to my knees on the kitchen floor. Mary came running, asking what happened, but I couldn't speak. I could only see those numbers in my head. 45 years of work, the sleepless nights, the cold, the loneliness of the road, all stolen by a voice on the phone. The man who called me wasn't from the bank. He was the thief. He used a computer program to make the bank's number appear on my phone. It's called spoofing. He already had my password, probably bought on the dark web from some old data breach. But he needed the last key. He needed the two-factor authentication code, the code that arrives by text, the code that says, "Do not share with anyone." And I, in my desperation, handed the key to my own house to the robber. I opened the door and invited him in. But the worst part wasn't the robbery. The worst part was what happened next. I went to the branch. I spoke to the manager. I have been a customer there for 30 years. They know my kids. I walked into his office crying, a 72-year-old man, weeping like a child, begging for help. I expected him to say, "Don't worry, John, we will fix this. The bank has insurance. The FDIC protects you." Instead, he looked at me with a cold face behind that glass desk and said, "Sir, I am sorry, but because you provided the security code voluntarily, the bank considers this an authorized transaction. We cannot refund the money. You violated the terms of service by sharing your credentials. Can you imagine the pain?" The bank, which makes billions of dollars a year with our fees, washed their hands. They blamed me. I was the victim, but they treated me like the criminal. I filed a police report. The officer was kind, but he was honest. He said, "Mr. John, this money is likely already in Nigeria, Russia, or converted into crypto. The chances of recovery are almost zero." I went back home and looked at my wife. We had plans. We were going to fix the roof this year. We were going to visit the grandkids in California. Now we are counting pennies to pay the electric bill. I am 72 years old. My back hurts every morning. My knees crack when I walk. And yesterday I started looking for truck driving jobs again. I have to go back to the road. I have no choice. I'm not telling you this so you feel sorry for me. I don't want your pity. I want your anger, and I want your attention. Because these criminals are smart. They use artificial intelligence now. They can even clone your grandkids' voices. They know everything about you before they dial. They know where you live, who your relatives are, where you shop. They attack your fear. They know that we, the older generation, are terrified of losing our stability. They use that fear as a weapon. They create a false urgency. Do it now or lose everything. That is how they shut down your logical thinking. So please listen to the advice of an old trucker who learned the hard, painful way. Rule number 1, the bank will never call you asking for codes. Never. Put that in your head. If someone calls saying they are from the bank and asks for any number, any password, or any confirmation, hang up the phone on their face. Don't be polite. Be rude. Hang up. Rule number 2, do not trust the caller ID. Technology today allows anyone to pretend to be any number. It could say the White House on your phone and be a scammer in a basement halfway across the world. Rule number 3, if you think there might be a real problem, take your card, flip it over, and call the number printed on the back. Never call a number they sent you by text or email. Use only the official source. And the most important rule, if someone pressures you, if someone says you have to act right now, stop. Breathe. Rush is the scammer's best friend. No real bank will threaten you or rush you like that. I lost $45,000, but I lost something more valuable than money. I lost my peace. I lost my trust in people. I look at the phone now and I feel fear. I don't answer calls from numbers I don't know anymore. I feel vulnerable, and seeing my wife worried, trying to save on groceries, is a knife in my chest every single day. Don't let this happen to you. Protect your nest egg. Protect your family. Share this story with your friends, with your brothers, with your neighbors. Don't let my shame be in vain. If this video saves just one person from going through the hell I am going through, then maybe, just maybe, it was worth telling this story. The money is gone, but the lesson stays. The world has changed, and not for the better. Stay alert, trust nothing, and never ever give away the code. God bless you all and keep your homes safe. I am John, and I hope you never have to do what I am going to do tomorrow. Turn on that diesel engine and go back to the highway when I should be resting. Stay safe.